Hey guys, so basically, I wanted to say this because I got this on the couch. You know, when God speaks to your spirit, he speaks to your spirit, and it's just like, okay, I can't keep this in. I was going to type something up. I think I will type something up, but I wanted to also make a quick video since I'm doing nothing. I just got home from work. And so basically, when God calls you, he puts something in you, right? And so you have a specific field and lane that you are called to dominate in. Nobody else can do it like you. And so the only thing is you have to get there. So many times we end up doing something else that sounds good, it feels good, it's light. You don't have to argue with anybody, you don't have to deal with test and trial and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, if you're called to do a certain thing, even if those things are a part of that calling, God fortified you for that. Some of us are called to do some hard stuff. And so we are fortified for that. If you think about President Trump and all of the attacks that he endures and the name calling, that man was made for that. He was born for that. He was bred, raised, and everything for the thing that he is doing right now. And he's dominating in that, and the whole world is seeing. And so what happens here is that God gives us a gift, right? And so before you came onto the earth, there was a gift put inside of you. But everything pertaining to that gift and life and godliness was also put inside of you. And that was to make room for you and put you in front of great men. So basically, the gift that is inside of you comes with everything you need to operate and dominate in that field. And when you get in that gifting, there is no stress. It's easy. It's like, oh my God, I should have been doing this such a long time ago. And you wonder, why weren't you doing it? It's because you were playing safe. You were playing small. A lot of people play small because it feels good. It's safe. You don't have to, encounter anything. You don't have to deal with any trials, but that is not where you're going to shine. You are going to shine when you actually step out and do what God calls you to do. But the moment you do that, the enemy is going to meet you. Just like when Abraham was on the road, he was met by two kings. He was met by a wicked king and he was met by a righteous king. And one of them wanted him to bow. And so the enemy wants you to bow. This is why you have to have integrity. Your integrity and your character have to be in place before you get to the top of that field. Because if it's not, the enemy is going to come to you and he's going to offer you something. He's going to offer you a bribe. He's going to put a woman in front of you, a man in front of you. He's going to put something in front of you to test your integrity. And so many people have failed at that test because they were not developed enough and they got put up there ahead of time. God does not shame you like that. He's not going to put you out there until your character and integrity are intact. He will protect you on the side of the mountain in the wilderness until you get it together, because the enemy is always looking for cracks in our armor, right? He is an enemy. He's looking for cracks so he can come in and tear up everything that God meant you to do. Now, he knows he can't stop you, but he can slow you down, because humans are the only people that are relegated to time. We will run out of time. We'll end up 100 years old and end up dying before anything happens because he's run down the clock. Don't allow him to do it. Right now, while you're in the wilderness, you need to be developing your character and your integrity. And you have to know what you're not going to bow to. See, because the enemy wants us to bow. He wants you to stop saying the stuff you're saying. He wants you to lighten up. He wants you to change the wording, do this and do that. Or people are going to block you. They're going to stop talking to you and everything else. You cannot allow that to bother you, to bother you, because God, even if you're only talking to God, that's more than enough. He is an audience of one. You have to be willing to lose everything. You have to be willing, I'm going to say it again, you have to be willing to lose everything, because he is your father. He is the army. He is an audience of one. And so you have to think about this. Even if you got 1 million followers, if they all turned their back and walked away from you because you did not agree with them, you have to be okay with that. You cannot bend. You cannot bow. You will not do it. If you stand straight, all of heaven will stand with you. They will back you, especially if it's a word that God gave you. Now, you have to think about this, because we are in spirit. And so many times God will give you a word, and many times people look for an audible voice. And a lot of times God doesn't speak audibly. He talks to our spirit, because we are spirit, right? Those that worship him do so in spirit and in truth. And so God is not going to talk to your flesh. He's going to speak to your spirit, and it's going to be an impression in your spirit. And your spirit is your belly. It's your spirit man's down here. So he's going to be talking to your spirit. And it could be an audible voice. I don't box God. He can talk audibly, whatever he wants to use, donkey, whoever. But many times it's just an impression in our spirit. Go with it. The more and more you do that, the easier and easier it gets. And the easier you hear God. That's why now, the moment I get any impression in my spirit, I start writing it out, because I know it's not my own thought. I'm not smart enough. It's not my own thought. It had to be God, because the enemy is not going to talk to me about righteousness. He's not going to talk to me about fortifying my armor against him. He wants me to have some gaps, some opening, some kind of compromise in my life that he can come in. And this is why Jesus does not want you to have the sin in your life. See, that's why. It's not that he doesn't want you to have any fun. He knows that sin compromises you. When someone is caught up in sin, they are scared to say anything because they're shamed. That's why you got to get the sin out. You got to get all the compromise out so that you can walk in your gifting and you can do it boldly and nobody can say anything to you at all about it. And even if they come to you to get you to bow, you won't bow, because there are going to be many people. Now we are watching it. We are watching it right now with our 2 eyes, or with our 4 eyes if you got spiritual eyes. We are watching it right now where talking heads are being paid off. They are being paid. I don't care if you don't see it. I don't care if nobody reports it. You look in the spirit realm and you ask the Lord what's going on, and he'll tell you immediately. And the first thing you hear, that's what you write down, because that's him talking. Do not silence God. When he tells you something, stop being so earthly bound that you can't even hear heaven. Our home is in heaven. We are seated with him in heavenly places, far above all principalities and powers in this world. We are seated with him. So we should be able to hear from heaven. And so these people have been bought off. They've been paid off. And the reason they can be paid off is because they cannot stand, because heaven is not backing them. Many of these folks do not know the Lord. I don't care how they talk about religion. They only do that because you're conservative. That's it. They're just pandering to the conservative crowd. These folks have not encountered Jesus. You can be easily bought if you've not encountered Jesus. If I wasn't born again, do you know how easily I could be bought? Right now, you can't buy me. You can't offer me enough money. There is not enough money in this world to get me to turn my back on the living God who saved my soul. There is not enough money in this world to get me to not say what he said. I don't care how many disagree. I don't care how many feathers get riled. I don't care how many bees get into your bonnet. I don't care how your underwear get in a bunch. It does not matter. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to leave it right there. And it's going to take some root. And so that's what you have to be. You got to get bold and courageous, and you got to be loud about this thing, because the enemy is trying to get us to shut up. He wants us to cow down and be loving and acceptable. Now, there is nothing wrong with loving people, but loving people does not mean you accept crap off of them. It does not mean you are a doormat. It does not mean that you just stand back and let every word of God fly out the window. You stand for righteousness. When that unrighteous leadership told Daniel he could not pray, do you know what he did? He went back to his room, opened his window like he did in time past, and prayed to the Lord, to the Lord in heaven. He didn't care about the lion's den. He didn't care about losing his job. He didn't care about nothing else, because he was sold out to the kingdom. Heaven is his home. See, man can't do nothing to you when God has you. The worst thing that can happen to us is that we leave the body and we are with him quicker. But there is work to do here. So I want to tell you, you got to fortify yourself. You got to fortify yourself against attacks, and you need to tighten up your armor, because the devil is looking for any entry point. He wants to come in. And when he comes in, he doesn't just take a little. Sin always starts good. And before you know it, you have lost control of your car. And now you screaming, Jesus, take the wheel. Well, you should have kept the wheel in the first place. So that's it. Y'all have a good night.